That was Steven.
He's got a picture of Steven from Django on the podcast. Whenever you're ready.
You're on.
So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, his hard don't pump no Kool-Aid Sadiq. And it is a pretty okay Sunday as far as weather-wise. We're like 90 degrees. It is Sunday, August the 11th. And so we have a lot to talk about. As you guys can see on Facebook, we are going to talk about black people's issues being moved to the back of the bus again, right? So I'll get into that. You guys know exactly more what I'm talking about. And so hello to everybody on the podcast. All the forms on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Podbean, Tweet. And then, of course, to YouTube. You guys will see this later in its full production. Thank you for being here. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like, whatever you need to do. Leave us a comment, and that's funny. We'll always respond back. And to you, Facebook, the Ride or Die audience, as always, you guys actually provide the conversation and make the show go a lot more smoother. We couldn't do this without you. And so anyway, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote black love, knowledge, and understanding of all the things that go on in our community to make us an even better people. Also, I'd like to thank Marcus Guyton for all he does behind the scenes and making the show go as far as it does. Again, big thank you. And so...
Wait. You can't do a thank you without the executive producer.
Mr. Al Jackson. Al Jackson, the executive producer who makes sure everything is on point. You name it. He catches the things that we don't. So
yes, especially the paychecks.
Right. And so Al will actually be here in a couple of days. And so I'm excited as always.
Yeah, she walks into the house. I had some fruit. I had some fruit sitting on the countertop, and for some reason, she went way left. I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
That's Tuesday.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about that Tuesday
conversation. So anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. And I promise you guys, I will get to every last one of your comment unless it's something crazy, Al. And so let me get all the way back. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right, and so the topic is black people's issues are being moved to the back of the bus again. Whatever could I mean by that? Well, I guess, I've been thinking about this topic for a couple of days, and this is my notes. Normally, guys, I have a lot of notes. I just have a few talking points. Over the last week or so, I guess really since the shootings in, and I noticed on the last podcast, I kept saying New Mexico. Where the heck was it?
El Paso.
El Paso, Texas. I've been seeing a lot of articles highlighting the immigration issue, the Iceraids, and just a whole host of things pertaining to immigration. And so as I continue to read these things throughout the week, I'm like, well, wow. You don't hear anything really about black people's issues.
Reparations.
Yeah, where's the reparations argument or discussion or topic of any of that been in the last week or two? It's almost like it's disappeared, right?
They wanted it to.
Right. Well, like they wanted it to, but to me as a black person, that's very concerning because, well, for one, we always talk about this a lot. We being black people, always jumping on the bandwagon of other people's issues, right? And so we get distracted and moved away from our stuff. The other thing that's happening is they have this term, because before it was minorities. Like, when was the last time you guys heard the term minorities? It's been a while, right? Now the term has been replaced with POC, otherwise known as people of color. You've heard that a lot. So what that means is when we call ourselves people of color, that means, as Dr. Claude Anderson always speaks about, we, being black people, our issues get merged in, if you will, and then it gets pushed to the back of the bus. When we include ourselves with Hispanics, Asians, and other marginalized communities. And as always, and I'm going to keep going back to this point, we keep falling for the okie doke. Oh my God, we need to, get together, and it's so wrong. And listen, again, I want to say this to everybody. Please do not mistake me when I say this. It is wrong to keep people in cages and the whole host of things. You know, people, the kids, that what happened with the raid that happened last week was 680 immigrants, illegal immigrants. Let's put that word on it.
You got to put illegal.
Illegal immigrants were, I guess, rounded up and taken to the detention centers, and their children were left after school wondering where their parents were. They had to, you know, sleep in the gym and a whole host of things, and that is horrible. So I want to say that. However...
Yeah, but I want to say this, too.
Go ahead.
Jeff Sessions, when the Trump administration came in, he sat on the border, and he had told everybody, this is the policy moving forward. Did you think he was joking?
Well, that's a good question to me, because I remember when he did. He's no longer the Attorney General anymore. But when he was, he did stand at the border and say, if you come over here, you will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. That is what he said. And so you have a bunch of people here still coming over here. And my thing is, okay, that is horrible. That's what's happening to them. But black people need to stay focused on our stuff. Because now, as I said, like, I read a lot of news information, and to me that's very indicative of what's going on with black people's issues. We're not even being discussed, although we are still having things happen to us like police brutality. I made a list of things. Police brutality, where's my list? Most incarcerated still. It is said that we are at 33% incarceration in comparison to everyone else, which is around 30, give or take. Let's see. We are the most murdered by the police. It says 1 out of 1,000 people are murdered by the police. 1 in 1,000 black people are murdered by the police. 1 in 3,000 white people, and I think 1 in 2,000 Hispanics. So we are still the most murdered. What else do we have here?
Top of the pops.
Right. And you want to take it to something like for women. We women suffer the most deaths at childbirth. It says we suffer the most deaths 3 to 4 times more than anybody else. And these are all, connected to something. And we are the most unhealthy. It says 50%. We are 50% more likely to suffer from high blood pressure. So the point that I'm making, to even bringing up just those few things, we still have things going on with us. You guys remember last week there was a black man being shown, a picture was shown that he was being dragged down the street by a rope because he was arrested for trespassing. He was homeless. And the other part that we didn't see of that video is they actually had a bag over his head before that picture was taken. I guess someone had a video showing that they actually had a bag in addition to having him rope tied to his handcuffs, leading him down the street. And so the point that I'm making is we still have issues going on. Now they're getting moved to the back of the bus again because we as black people are so distracted by everybody else's stuff, specifically speaking, the immigration issue that, let's call it what it is, because I don't want to sound like a lot of people say, oh, well, I got black friends. I do have a lot of friends that are Hispanic, and they know how I feel. The issue is they are here illegally. And if you
can't control your borders, you can't call yourself a sovereign nation. You have to control your borders. That's just how it is.
Right. And so, again, I mean, Trump is just...
Wait, I'm going to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But just think about this. If there was a bunch of black people coming over the border, how would you feel? Especially you white folks. If there was a bunch of Canadians coming over the border... What happened when the Haitians
tried to come over here?
Exactly.
They pushed the boat back in the water.
Exactly.
Like, today.
And that was under the Clinton administration.
Right.
So...
Exactly.
What is that, I mean, you've got to control your borders or you have no nation.
Well, and even still, because now I guess they're making it harder for people, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, to immigrate over here, because before it's political asylum, but then you got to go try to get asylum in another country first. And
right.
Basically, they're saying, we don't want you to come over here unless you're, Russian or...
Yeah, unless you're Russian or you're Melania's parents and you want to be chain migrated through that. That's okay.
And so, and before I get to you guys' comments, before I came on here, I saw an article that said that Hispanics are now afraid. I don't know if it's afraid to be over here, but they're nervous, like being out and about because they're targeted, I guess, now.
Well, before we started the show, what did I say? I had a friend that told me, he came up to me and he goes, Donovan, he goes, I now understand how you black people feel. And I said, number one, no, you don't.
Right.
You don't understand because you'll never have black skin like I do. But what he was trying to insinuate was the stress of, being picked up or being harassed because now, here you are, you're a, American citizen, but now you got to have papers and prove who you are, and they're questioning where you're going and all that. I said, come and get all this white man.
But now you're a target of white supremacy. It's like, well, hello, welcome to the club.
Right.
And
he had the nerve to ask me, we got to stick together. We're compadres, and we got to do it together. I said, wait a minute, no. You got a mouse in your pocket. Black folks have been, dogged out all this time, and now that it's affecting you, and the focus is on your people. Now you want me to do something, but I didn't see you do. I didn't see you stand up one time when Sandra Bland was murdered, in Texas, where there's a bunch of Hispanics. I didn't see anybody standing up for us. But now you have a situation and you want us to stand up. But you want to know why? Because we were the first to do it. These people come over here because the benefits that we fought for in the 60s, or our parents, or however you want to call it, they take advantage of that. We were the first to do it. No other nation was doing that. The Africans were still being colonized and getting their freedom from that. So after we do all the hard lifting, then they want to come over, and then they're better than us.
Right. Well, I mean, they've passed us in population. They've passed us in earning power. I mean, we can keep trying to, as I say, cake for other people if we want. But the first law of nature is self-preservation. We need to worry about ourselves. I mean, just look around. Black people's issues, which we still have, and it's getting worse. But it's now to the back of the bus. It's like, okay, it's election season now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. By focusing on something else, they won't focus on Kamala.
Right. But what's hot right now is immigration. We need to cry and whine about what's going on, which I'm not saying people shouldn't pay attention, but we need to focus on our own stuff. Let's have a discussion.
United States black citizens to vote correctly, and we're worried about illegals. We're trying to get reparations, but we're worried about...
Right. Hey, Hutch, yes, you made it on time.
Yes. Reserve weekend, are you A or B? You're probably on A, so that's what it is.
And then you say, we haven't been at the front of the bus since the late 60s.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
we used to have pride.
We were making some progress, I guess, a little bit. I'm just saying, I'm not even talking as far as like reparation, I'm talking about as far as conversation. It wasn't that long ago when they were talking about reparations every day. You're hearing this, that, and the other. I saw a lot about police brutality. Now it's just like a little blip. Perfect example. Not even 24 hours after the shooting in El Paso, there was a mass shooting by white supremacists. No, was it white supremacists? Nobody kind of really knows. But in Ohio,
it's white supremacy.
Majority of black people murdered, and like I haven't seen an article about those people or any of that stuff like since it happened. That's just me. I'm not saying that it's not out there. I haven't seen it, and I read the news a lot. And Capri says, "Hey y'all, what's happening?" And let's see. Hello to everyone who came on. Hey Asada, what's up? Cindy says, "Hey fam, how you doing?" And he said, "What are the issues?" Well, hopefully you heard what I said, because I know I'm reading the comments a little bit behind. But you name it, we still want reparations. When is the last time you heard really that in the national forefront? I know maybe it's only popular during debate time. I don't know. I know a lot of people in the ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves community, still talk about it. But it seemed like it was getting some traction. But then now it's, all about the immigration and this, that, and the other, and the shootings.
Keep everything.
Right now, the white supremacy argument has moved from it being that toward black people, which I know white supremacy is that toward a lot of people, but primarily is toward black people. Now it's moved toward Hispanics, which, might be true in nature because they are the next threat to white supremacy, if you will.
Yeah, they are the next threat because we haven't moved in 60 years.
Exactly.
Population.
And so Cindy says Texas and Dayton. Yes, okay, so I'm behind it. Al says Donovan, hard don't pump no Kool-Aid is now Donovan said in a flash Sadiq. Okay.
That's right, the flash.
Got it. And then Tori, what's happening? He's saying go ahead and put the link if we're not friends so you can comment. And Jonelle, what's up? Says hello, Donovan. And says those who are fighting reparations are fighting each other. Example, ADOS fighting in Cobra. I'm not really for sure who the in Cobra people are, but Yes.
They get their money from George Soros.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
There is a lot of infighting.
And that's always going to be.
And that's why, a lot of people probably going to get mad. That's why I hesitate to attach myself to the ADOS movement fully. I understand it, but I see so much nastiness coming from, not all, but a lot of it coming from the ADOS community. It's just horrible. A lot of it is just misguided anger. I mean, they, call people names. It's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And so, yes. And then Tay says, we are being distracted from Epstein's murder, Trump's tweets, conspiracy theories, and the ICE raids.
What's new? What's new? We've been distracted for the last 40 years, 50 years.
Right. I mean,
people are just finding out that Ronald Reagan was racist.
If I had some pearls, you guys, I would clutch them. Ooh. Ronald Reagan was racist. I thought it was my friend.
Yeah.
Gosh. I thought when he called her welfare queen, it was like a term of endearment.
Show me a picture with Ronald Reagan shaking a black person's hand as president.
I'm going to look for it to prove you wrong. And O says, agree, we need to stay focused. Absolutely. Like, how do we keep falling for the okie doke? Like, I've only seen one picture, I think, of the victims in Dayton, Ohio. One. But we've seen and heard a lot. Not saying that they should both be talked about. Mm-hmm. Both shootings, all mass shootings, the victims should be talked about. But see,
El Paso's on the border, so it has a political significance of Hispanic focus.
I get it.
And Beto O'Rourke, is going to be talking about it all the time, and that's his thing of El Paso coming together.
Right. And one thing I would say about those in El Paso, I can't remember what it is, the mayor, one of those political figures, she said Trump is not welcome here. But in our community, we open the doors, especially our pastors and, these political black people who want to be, I guess, throwing butter biscuits, welcome him in with open arms. And they're like, no, you're not welcome here because your rhetoric has caused this, And let's see here. Hello to everybody who's on here. And Tay says, news outlets don't care until it's a black person that is shot out in the streets like animals. It's up to black news outlets to keep the conversation going. Absolutely.
Correct.
And that same weekend, this was like almost 60 people were shot in Chicago, which I have my doubts about who's actually doing it. But that's considered, I guess, a mass shooting to some degree. Right. 7 people died. Mm-hmm. Maybe not all by the hands of the same person, but those are conversations we need to be having too.
Right, but you got to remember, they do that to keep the narrative that black people are less than.
Oh, well,
you got to keep that narrative, like, shoot them down like animals. Look how violent we are.
But we keep falling for it. Right. We don't even talk about, like, how dare you? And I hope I'm not talking to any of you guys on the podcast, YouTube, Facebook, but how dare you care more about someone else's things than you do your own? That is odd to me. You know what I mean? That is, like, so weird. That'd be like my daughter coming to me and saying, Mom, I'm thirsty. And I have enough water for her. And if somebody else comes and knocks on the door and says, well, I'm thirsty. Well, honey, I'm going to give it to them first because, they're thirsty. And I don't know if you really that thirsty. I'm going to just give them the water.
Yeah, and I hate when they come at you with their Christianity talking about, well, we got to love everybody. You got to love yourself first. You can't love everybody if you can't love yourself. You can't take care of outside if you can't take care of your home.
I mean, love starts with yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
First.
I got to love me first. If I can't love me, the love you getting is going to be whack.
Right.
If you're getting it from me anyway.
But generation fail. Me and my brother were laughing too because we were talking about it. Let me pull this ladder up. Y'all get yours. We got ours, so we're good.
And Delicia says they still pushing the boats back in the water coming from Haiti. Absolutely, and we don't know anything about it. Like, it was a month ago or so, it was discovered that Mexico has detention centers with Africans and Haitians busting at the seams, trying to get out there hungry, and everything they talk about over here with the Hispanic immigrants, but yet black people are like, oh, really? I didn't hear about that. And see, I didn't know. But you caping for everybody else.
And here's the funny thing, and like I said, we always say this, Trump is a douchebag. Don't misconstrue what we're saying. But these... wait. Remember when Katrina happened and they were calling the black people refugees?
Right. How?
Notice that they're calling the illegals immigrants.
Right. Right.
Listen to the verbiage here.
Right.
Okay?
No,
so,
I got it, yeah.
they're humanizing them, but they dehumanized us.
I'm a refugee and I live here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not...
But that's what they were calling us. The news outlets were going with that.
Because y'all blew up the levees.
Right, yeah. But the news outlets, our news outlets were going with that. They were calling us refugees, but they're calling those immigrants.
Got it. And Al says, next Sunday at the Demetri K Show, we'll broadcast from Magic Mountain. Al is writing, Demetri's scary ass will be doing the podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like
Via
that.
reporting, yes.
Yeah. And Tay says, hell, I have British friends that are leaving the U.S. because of Trump. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what I don't understand, too. Like, the Hispanic community, why are y'all trying to keep coming over here?
Well, and here's the thing.
Especially when you know all that is going on. Wait or something. I don't know.
See, and as black people, we got to think about this, too. Okay, I get tired of talking to young black men and say they can't find no jobs. But yet, those same upstanding black men are caping for these illegals that are taking your job.
Well, and and then once the illegals get over here, it gets legal and all of that. And even while they're illegal, they start their own businesses.
Yes.
They go, I was listening to Dr. Claude Anderson before I came over here, and he was saying, when they come over here, whatever, they don't go try to open. See, like us, he was saying, we get an idea for a business, we get the revenue or whatever, and we want to go set up in a white people's community.
Right, which they burn us down.
Shopping with you?
Yeah, and they burn us down or keep us out.
Yeah, but he says Hispanics go where the Hispanics are, and they go get their money and do business with each other. They don't try to. He called it
Asians.
Yeah, he says it's better to be a big fish in a little pond. That way you don't get engulfed by the big pond being a small fish.
Right.
So. Yes, and Delisha says, yes, indeed. Speak on it. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oops. And Sydney says, here's what's not being reported. They are putting us in detention centers in Brooklyn. I did hear about that. Tamika Mari was actually, she was saying in Harlem that they have detention centers, but you're saying us as far as Haitians, Sydney, is that what you're saying? And let's see here. Jonelle, you say, we are programmed to reject reality, believe we are included in when the reality is we are on white allowances. We are allowed to do certain things until or unless it's objective to white rule. White rule over us. Integration is regulation, not equality. We need commitment to self first. We need a true, full, and complete freedom beyond white allowance and our dependency on whites and others. Which is true, because also in that same thing I was listening to with Dr. Claude Anderson, he was talking about what happened to Jet in Ebony magazine.
Got bought out.
Yeah, they got bought out, but then they stopped being 100% black, and so they needed advertising dollars from white entities. And so he says, of course, those white entities are like, well, you can't keep it that black.
Right.
We need you to stay away from the blackness too much.
Promote the Nicki Minaj and the bullshit. Yeah,
that kind of stuff. And then we'll give you your money. And so they needed the money to stay afloat. And so that's what they did. And that's what happens with us.
Well, remember the BET? When the guy sold it, Johnson sold it, what happened? BET After Dark, the Bev Smith show got taken off. Yes. When they're talking about the positive stuff, they said, oh no, we got to get rid of that.
We need some ass shaking up on here.
We need some just booty.
Some night club for Negroes. And hey, Laura, what's happening? And Al says white supremacy is the latest version of the last group that lost. Well, tell them that. Tell them that. I mean, they are trying to stay afloat. And, white supremacists, I was reading too, we kind of already knew that, are afraid that they are becoming less and less, and they are. White people are. It's starting to brown up around.
Which is ridiculous, because they're the ones sticking their dingling in every little country they go to and browning themselves.
Well, they ain't claiming them kids.
No, they ain't. Go to Vietnam. They ain't.
Right.
So.
And Capri said, as Tariq Nasheed says, hold your own nuts. We can't help y'all. Sorry. Not sorry. Absolutely. Right. And that's the thing. We need to stick together. Well, when did we get this ideology? Because, black people been getting their heads bashed for a long time, and y'all ain't said a word. Not one. I told Donovan, I said, no, you can't turn on Telemundo or Univision or none of that, and they talk about what you say today on the news.
Yeah, today on the news, Negro has the head bashed in.
Yeah, you're not going to see that. And Hutch says, the Congo stagnated after the 80s, where we just kind of accepted, quote unquote, our situation because we were supposedly slow moving forward, while a majority of us are still falling backwards. Yes, and like I have conversations with a few of us black people, and some black people are under the impression, we talk about this a lot, that, well, I made it. You're doing okay. Well, my neighbor, he's black, he's doing okay.
Well, just like McConnell said, we gave you a black president. What are you talking about reparations?
Right.
That's success. That, a few black politicians get into the trough and look and do good for themselves. That's supposed to represent all of us.
Right. If Jay-Z could do it, you can do it too.
Right.
That Jay-Z and Beyonce is a litmus test, right?
Bill Cosby, he did it.
Right, and look what he's doing right now. Yeah. And Tay says the Dayton shooting won't get much coverage because it was an extreme leftist. True. That's what they say. Yeah. He shot his own transgender sister. I just learned that too. So the sister used to be a dude.
Yeah.
And then I get confused with that kind of stuff. Transgender sister and black people, but because dude was a vocal supporter of Warren and Bernie, it's crickets on MSN. Yeah, and they were saying too that he was a staunch supporter of Kamala, which to me all kind of sounds weird. Maybe he was. It said too on his social media pages that he did talk about those aforementioned people a lot, and so that could be what it is too. It's not sexy because it's a leftist doing it per se. Also, like you said, black people were involved. That's not really nothing.
That's not new. That happens every day.
Like we can't. How can we spin this? Oh, we can't. Oh, but immigration,
Yeah, because Democrat, we got to get that Hispanic vote. Screw these blacks.
Pretty much, because they got us already. And hey, Rosemary says, thanks for just telling the truth. We try.
You try.
And Jonelle says, white security is always found in murdering those in moderate or mass and being secure within white authority. As their systems are being brought to a halt in plain sight, whites find security in their... whites find security...
In their bias.
I'm glad you saw it. In their bias toward the darker people of the planet in which their rule was founded and still to this day invested. Now, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I don't know. I just think, go ahead.
Well, special announcement. For those of you guys don't know, you guys heard about Donna Brazile defending your boy Trump and stuff like that.
Donna Brazile, y'all.
Yeah, Donna Brazile, the former head of the DNC, the backbone of the Democratic Party, another black woman, getting them butter biscuits.
Yeah, she said Trump is not racist. But we also know now that she's getting the butter biscuits from Fox News.
And Demetra was offered a position as a contributor. So how many butter biscuits is it going to take to get you on the show?
They couldn't pay me enough butter biscuits. It better be a whole basket full of steaming hot with vegan butter. Cindy says, this is why we are left behind. Every moment gets hijacked until we are serious, clear, and have one agenda. We will always be considered a joke. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like we don't have one focal point. Like they put the little things on the horses where they can't look right, they can't look left. The blinders. They put the blind. That's what we need as black people. Until further notice, we need to put the blinders on and say, nope, I hear it, I get it. It's unfortunate. I wish y'all luck. However, this is where I'm going, and this is where I need to be focused on until further notice, right?
But look at the leaders that we elect and people that lead us.
Right, so like Donna Brazile, who was a big-time Democratic strategist. I think she worked with Hillary Clinton.
Wow, great job.
A whole host of people. She was a commentator on CNN for a long time. Well-respected in, I guess, Democratic circles.
Until she got caught giving Hillary the answers. She became part of the cog in the system.
Imagine how many people still listen to her and think that her word is pure.
Well, I got aunts that you can tell that this person just hung a black person. I'm still voting for Kamala.
Right. So imagine how many people she still influences. She being Donna Brazile, right? And then Tay says, I can't knock Beto. He told Trump and his racist ass homies to kick rocks. The unification that was shown in El Paso needs to happen in the black community. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. They're like, no, he went anyway, Trump, and made it all about him. He talking about that was the largest rally. One of the largest rallies.
When are you going to pay El Paso the money you owe him from the last time you visited?
And then he took a picture with Melania holding a baby doing a thumbs up. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be in a somber mood. There's people who were killed, murdered by your homies who love you, and you're giving a thumbs up.
Well, see, no, you guys forget that thumbs up was a sign to get rid of Epstein.
Right.
Look, notice baby, young. That's the sign.
Al says Memorial Mall here in Houston has been shut down for a few hours because some white boy had some guns. Are you serious?
Wow.
Damn.
What did I say? If you could arm yourself, defend yourself, you're going to have to. We are at that point now.
And then Rosemary says 3 blacks, 3 whites were killed. You talking about in Dayton?
Right. I used to keep my gun and put the lock and stuff through the thing now. I have now, all my arms are locked and loaded, ready to go. I'm not playing around anymore.
Well, I make sure I know not to be messing with you.
Yes.
Before I call, like you got your man.
Yes, right.
And Cindy says, right now Babylon is burning. I came to a conclusion we need to get out. Yeah, I think that's honestly where a lot of people are going.
Me and D are getting out.
Right, I don't know if we're coming back. But yeah, I think that's honestly, I know we don't want to leave America.
Well, I'm not leaving without a check. That's for damn sure.
Right, but Marcus Garvey, almost 100 years ago, was on that page. We need to leave. Like, there's nothing here for us. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't. And
if you know what's going on in Africa, ain't nothing there for us. Them Negroes are selling out.
Yeah, they going to make sure when we get over there, it's going to be like America again, you know. Mm-hmm.
They learn
but
from
I
masters.
agree with you, Sydney. And then Jonelle says, news outlets is owned by the Zionist Jews. They got to keep us in the negative light, lest the world sees, as most are seeing, despite their aims. Our reality media is never in our best interest and will. You see it, Donovan?
What?
Okay, because you see before. Will continue to sweep the shootings under the radar, like the shooting or home invasion of Botham Jean by the white female officer. Yeah, like what happened to that?
Mm-hmm. Well, she got a job at the other. She'll
I know
be getting a job.
They finally indicted her, but you haven't heard anything else about it at all. Like,
and did you hear that they indicted the police commissioner or the mayor, whoever she was the black lady, the DA. She was the DA. They didn't indict her, but they subpoenaed her.
Which one?
The black DA in Dallas.
Oh, really?
To testify or something like that, because what it is, they're trying to put pressure, like, let this chick go and get out of this venue.
Yeah, she probably will get off, you know. And Tay says, if an illegal can take your job, you need to step up your skill set.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
But with technology and these millennials and stuff, it doesn't take much. Remember, there's a lot of businesses in Mexico.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, one thing I would say about Hispanics
and Asians,
they don't come over here
Africans
and work for long. They get that gig to set up shop so they can do their own thing. They can employ themselves and work and have their families and all that stuff. Like one time, I went to a meat market with my brother. Mm-hmm. Disgusting the smell anyway, because I don't eat meat, but it's a Mexican meat market.
Heard that out?
They had.
I'm sorry.
They had I'm gonna slap him. They had the farm set up, family owned, and then there's a store in front.
Sure.
Everything family owned. Mm-hmm. Everybody's working in this meat market. I'm like, and I was telling my brother, I said, I know, you know, the kids don't want to work here, but they mom and dad was like, oh, you working here?
Yes.
We keeping the money in the house.
Or let's say you're looking for a job and you go to an Asian-owned business, family owned, family business.
Oh, we not hiring now.
We don't hire.
Yeah,
no, we don't
right
hire.
now.
Family business, no hire.
Right.
You know, and I'll give you a true story. I just had some new neighbors move into me right next door. Now, when the house was in escrow and stuff, I was under the impression it was just the lady and her son and 3 people at the most, and one little kid, whatever it was. 3. There's 6 cars every night.
And one parked on the lawn.
Yeah, and one parked on the lawn. 6 of them. That's how they do it.
Group economics. And Cindy says, the question is, why are we trying to stay? America is burning. Here is the announcement, Civil War Part 2. I mean, and we wouldn't even be nowhere prepared for no Civil War. We would be in trouble. Like Donovan and I always say, he'd be all right for a little while. You know, he got some fruit trees and stuff. He got some...
You notice all the peaches are gone off my damn tree?
I did. You wasn't the mail lady.
That wasn't me. No, it wasn't the mail lady.
Who was it?
It was a random Mexican coming by picking up.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't mind. Like I said, you know, but...
Okay.
Unbelievable.
And then you also say black folks who were born here. Well, you know, people say America's, you know, the best country in the world.
Okay, as somebody as a world traveler, I'm going to tell you this. We have a lot of problems here. Yes, that is true. We are still the best thing going compared to a lot of nations. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of places you can live and live great. I'm headed to Panama. or Australia.
We know.
You know what I mean? However, as far as respecting your rights and things, like I said, that's why when you hear the term ugly American, when you go over, you think, well, I'm an American, you can't do that. Well, bust your fucking head. They don't give a damn about your American rights when you're in their country. You know, so.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
And then
it's the best thing on.
Did I read that one already?
No.
It says news outlets is owned by the.
You did.
I did
You
read
did.
that one.
You
Yeah.
did.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Hello to everybody on and Arson. What's happening? Say just joined. You are right on time.
Right on time.
And Alice's correction: some white boys were popping firecrackers, no pun, in the mall, and the cops named the incident as an act of terrorism and cleared the entire mall. See, nowadays you can't be too, you know. Did you guys see the video in New York City where somebody's motorcycle backfired and people went
jump? Whoop.
Yeah, they're like, we are out of here. I mean, people are just like, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Since they want to keep talking about Walmart, they said, I read an article early this morning, I think it was like 5 or 6 incidents that they have actually arrested white men.
Y'all should be terrified being around white men.
White men saying that they're going to target Walmarts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay.
Y'all should be terrified.
I don't need nothing else out of Walmart.
When you see a white man, y'all should be terrified. Y'all should just...
Hey, Donald, he says, what's up, y'all? Educate me. You know we will. Yep. And Hannah says, hey, I'm finally out of Facebook jail.
Welcome.
It says they are really going to silence us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not only just Facebook, Hannah. It's YouTube, a lot of Twitter, a lot of...
Which I don't understand, because I get these videos of these girls, you know, doing all kinds of hellacious stuff on Twitter.
That's fine. But yeah, it's a lot of like prominent black channels have actually gotten their channels, especially on YouTube, taken down. Like the whole channel removed.
Taking down or demonetized.
And these people have like thousands of followers just like that. Yeah. Gone. I think was it the Black Authority? He had his channel removed. I think he might have gotten it back.
Yeah, Professor Black.
He got his channel removed. Yeah. So there's a lot of them that are getting their Brother Ben X, his channel was completely moved. He had to start a whole other channel.
And the reason why they're Tommy Sotomayor, his channel's constantly removed.
That's why I say he's not that I watch him, but I know
constantly removed. But see, that goes to show you they realize that this is how we are communicating with each other and throwing each other's ideas and doing that.
And Jonelia says, when a black man reached the highest position in the nation and are unable to do truly nothing and is fought against from various and every aspect under degradation, shows us why separation is best and only solution for black empowerment on all levels. Our black unity under God is sufficient, but we will only continue to suffer and pass the inheritance of suffering, death and slavery, dependence on to our children. If we don't, we must face reality and consider the time, separation or death. Exodus. Absolutely. Again, Marcus Garvey was talking about that 100 years ago.
Wait a minute, but where are you going to find a better house than you do here? This good white man? I'm just saying, John. I was listening to Malcolm X's speeches, and he had a speech that was like that.
Want to leave this good white man?
Yeah.
Shit. And Samuel, what's happening? He says, greetings, Demetra and Donovan. White people built a system that supports the
extinction.
Exaltation. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Of white people
and to crush blacks. However, you got some good ass eyes.
Farsighted.
However, whenever we defeat their system anyway, they try to take credit, code, or success as they let them through. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then Samuel says, excuse me, Demetra K. Oh, no, I know you meant. And Hannah says, why are we aiming for jobs? See, somebody's getting it. Why are we aiming for jobs? Foreigners are usually the top of the food chain. Imagine a personality type that can save enough to leave a country. That's not your run-of-the-mill person. Absolutely. It's like, got to be more determined than the Jordans you want, right?
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing. I'm with you on that. But we have been so conditioned to say, like right now, I can get half of the black wealth in my community just by putting off 50% off on weave, and I'll have a line of black women lined up to give me their money.
But the money will be coming to you, a black man, and they will be buying from a black man. I mean, because listen, one thing you ain't gonna do is tell women to stop wearing weave altogether. That's not gonna happen. Okay.
Or Jordan's on sale.
That's like us trying to tell you not to go to Winco and get you some chicken.
I got you. See the one?
I saw it.
I thought Al was coming in this week.
So you had to try the chicken.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had something.
And Cindy says, watching the Hong Kong protest, yes, for freedom, waiting for us to have the courage and determination to stand up for what we say that we believe in.
No.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that'll never happen. And, we say this all the time. If you're not willing to fight for your freedom, you don't deserve to be free.
Right.
You don't.
Absolutely. You want to whine and complain about, what we don't have. Or like, what are you willing to get it,
Right.
And Donald says, we need an alien invasion and...
That's my brother.
I know.
Yeah, that's my brother, y'all.
Types.
No, look. I'm going to tell you, these white people are so bad here. Aliens don't even come here no more.
There's I wish y'all would come up here trying to break over Area 51.
It's almost like that Forbidden Planet in Star Trek. You don't go there because the guys had the thing. That's what the aliens are saying.
Speaking of the whole alien thing, it's like you have over 2 million people. They shut the Facebook page down, want to go storm Area 51. What happens if 2 million people go and... I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, go storm the White House. Or, or something more meaningful. Who gives a damn if some aliens in Area 51? They ain't trying to come out here right now anyway.
Right.
They scared of white supremacists too.
Exactly. Them aliens said, leave those white folks alone. Them dudes, they don't know.
They got us in detention camps.
Right.
And Cindy says, my previous comment, black folks been here, meaning American blacks who were born here, put in detention centers in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You talking about jail? Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. But, if that's what you're speaking of, where's the outcry for that? Black people are the most incarcerated.
70%.
We
would
make up
population.
about 13-14% of the population.
And we're 70%.
And we're more locked up. We are more everything bad. Everything bad we are more of.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, I was watching I watched a lot of ID channel and stuff because I'm terrified of women in general.
That's why you don't have a woman, because you keep watching deadly women and be scared.
Yeah, or who the bleep did I marry?
Right.
I mean, these women be, wow. But anyway, but looking at those crime shows and you see how the dumbest thing puts these people behind bars and they think they're going to get away with it. And I'm just thinking, as black people, okay, for those of you guys who don't remember Shira Wright, who killed Lorenzen Wright, the basketball player, she pled guilty because we knew she did it, right?
Right.
So she finally pled guilty. She's going to get 8 to 25 years. And I'm thinking, this woman had a plush life, millions of dollars.
6 kids out there.
6 kids out of it. And killed the man.
Right.
And she's in jail. Just the stupidest things. I cannot fathom giving my...
But then again, too, we do.
Yeah.
But there's the other part of it that black people are over sentenced, if you will, unjustly sentenced.
Wait, Joe Biden's thing didn't do that. Kamala Harris used the law. I put in the work. And didn't she say that? I did the work.
She did the work. So shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's right. I did the work.
And Tay said, this is why I shop at Target. Those racist bums can't afford it. Shit, I can barely afford Target. I go in there and I'm like, where the nearest Walmart at?
I go to Target for the Rachel Ray for my girl Belle. My dog Belle.
I don't like Target. I like the little...
I like Target because it's cleaner.
I like the ratchetness of Walmart just a little bit. You can go in there.
When I go to Walmart, I really get depressed because I'm tired of seeing black women in bags on their heads and in their pajamas.
I get depressed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Walmart in general. It's like they just show up and they're in their pajamas and stuff. I'm thinking, you're shopping. You're not at home.
Right.
Come on. Nobody wants to see all your tattoos and your titties down by your knees. I don't want to see that. Jeez.
That's him, not me, y'all. Joe Nelson says, for the most part, our poor state of affairs and lack of unity only is evidence that we truly still think as slaves and for the most part still prefer ignorance over the intelligence. Just think via the I just saw it too. The whip. We were programmed to prefer ignorance and not even allowed to read. We are people directly from the supreme being, biased towards being aware. Black people, the only thing foreign to us is our ignorance. They fear us being intelligent and aware. Absolutely.
Right.
Like, when are we going to realize that?
Right.
We're like the sleeping giant. Once we wake up, it's over for everybody else.
Yes.
It's just a fact. And Sydney says, which is why we need to have our own platform. Do you think Trump saying social media needs to be censored. Did we think it was just liberal slanted commentary? No, absolutely. That's what he was saying.
Man,
he was really kind of
deep.
mad because Barack Obama got 850,000 likes on one of his posts. I guess it was about Trump, kind of, sort of.
And all of a sudden, speaking of Obama, he just magically starts showing up when Mexicans get killed.
You know what? You ain't lying.
Oh, did I say something bad about Obama? How dare I?
You did, but nobody knows where you live, so you're
Okay,
all right.
I'm good.
Right.